Question 1. In 1905 his Annus Mirabilis Einstein published 4 landmark papers. Which specific discovery earned him the 1921 Nobel Prize in Physics? Option A, special relativity. Option B, Brownian motion. Option C, the photoelectric effect. Option D, mass, energy equivalence. Time's up. The correct answer is C, the photoelectric effect. Question 2. What is the speed of light in a vacuum, to the nearest thousand, in meters per second? Option A, 299,792,458 m/s. Option B, 300 million m/s. Option C, 186,000 miles/s. Option D, both A and C are correct. Time's up. The correct answer is D, both A and C are correct. Question 3. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle states that position and which other property of a particle cannot both be measured precisely at the same time? Option A, spin. Option B, charge. Option C, momentum. Option D, Massachusetts. Time's up. The correct answer is C, momentum. Question 4. Which phenomenon, predicted by general relativity and confirmed in 2015 by LIGO, are ripples in the fabric of spacetime caused by accelerating masses? Option A, gravitational lensing. Option B, gravitational waves. Option C, frame dragging. Option D, geodetic precession. Time's up. The correct answer is B, gravitational waves. Question 5. Schrödinger's cat thought experiment was created to critique which interpretation of quantum mechanics that states particles exist in superposition until observed? Option A, many worlds interpretation. Option B, pilot wave theory. Option C, Copenhagen interpretation. Option D, relational quantum mechanics. Time's up. The correct answer is C, Copenhagen interpretation. Question 6. What does E equals mc superscript 2 mean in plain terms? What does C represent and why is the equation so profound? Option A, C is the speed of sound, mass creates sound energy. Option B, C is the speed of light, a tiny mass holds enormous energy. Option C, C is Coulomb's constant, charge equals mass times energy. Option D, C is a gravitational constant linking mass to gravity. Time's up. The correct answer is B, C is the speed of light, a tiny mass holds enormous energy. Question 7. The Pauli exclusion principle states that no two identical what cannot occupy the same quantum state simultaneously? Option A, bosons. Option B, photons. Option C, fermions. Option D, gluons. Time's up. The correct answer is C, fermions. Question 8. Hawking radiation predicts that black holes slowly lose mass by emitting thermal radiation. This process leads to what eventual fate for a black hole? Option A, it collapses into a neutron star. Option B, it freezes and becomes dark matter. Option C, it completely evaporates over time. Option D, it becomes a white hole. Time's up. The correct answer is C, it completely evaporates over time. Question 9. Which subatomic particle, discovered at CERN in 2012, is responsible for giving other fundamental particles their mass? Option A, Higgs boson. Option B, gluon. Option C, W boson. Option D, tau neutrino. Time's up. The correct answer is A, Higgs boson. Question 10. In thermodynamics, which law states that entropy of an isolated system always increases over time, giving time its arrow? Option A, Zeroth law. Option B, first law. Option C, second law. Option D, third law. Time's up. The correct answer is C, second law. Question 11. Euclid proved infinitely many primes exist using contradiction. He multiplied all primes, added 1, and showed the resulting number was what? Option A, always prime itself. Option B, divisible by none on the finite list. Option C, composite and thus a contradiction. Option D, equal to infinity. Time's up. The correct answer is B, divisible by none on the finite list. Question 12. In the Monty Hall problem, you pick door 1, host reveals a goat behind door 3. What is the probability of winning if you switch to door 2? Option A, 50% it resets to 50/50ths. Option B, 33% your odds never change. Option C, 66.7% switching doubles your chance. Option D, 25% 4 possible states exist. Time's up. The correct answer is C, 66.7% switching doubles your chance. Question 13. What is the value of I in mathematics, where I is the imaginary unit? Option A, infinity. Option B, square root 1. Option C, 1/pi. Option D, 0.001. Time's up. The correct answer is B, square root 1. Question 14. Gödel's first incompleteness theorem proved that in any consistent formal system powerful enough for arithmetic, there exist statements that are true but cannot be proven. Whose program did this permanently shatter? Option A, Bertrand Russell's Principia. Option B, Cantor's set theory program. Option C, Hilbert's program to axiomatize all mathematics. Option D, Turing's decision procedure. Time's up. The correct answer is C, Hilbert's program to axiomatize all mathematics. Question 15. The Riemann hypothesis, one of the Millennium Prize problems worth $1 million, concerns the zeros of which function? Option A, the gamma function. Option B, the Riemann zeta function. Option C, the Euler-Totient function. Option D, the Mobius function. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the Riemann zeta function. Question 16. What is the sum of interior angles of any triangle in Euclidean flat geometry? Option A, 90 degrees. Option B, 270 degrees. Option C, 360 degrees. Option D, 180 degrees. Time's up. The correct answer is D, 180 degrees. Question 17. Fermat's last theorem, proven by Andrew Wiles in 1995 after 358 years, states there are no integer solutions to x plus y equals z for n greater than what value? Option A, 1. Option B, 2. Option C, 3. Option D, 4. Time's up. The correct answer is B, 2. Question 18. In graph theory, the 7 bridges of Königsberg problem led Euler to found which field of mathematics? Option A, topology. Option B, graph theory. Option C, number theory. Option D, combinatorics. Time's up. The correct answer is B, graph theory. Question 19. What is the name for a number that is equal to the sum of its proper divisors, such as 6, 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 6, and 28? Option A, prime number. Option B, Fibonacci number. Option C, perfect number. Option D, abundant number. Time's up. The correct answer is C, perfect number. Question 20. The PVSNP problem asks whether every problem whose solution can be quickly verified can also be quickly what? Option A, compressed. Option B, solved. Option C, encrypted. Option D, reversed. Time's up. The correct answer is B, solved. Question 21. Which element holds the highest electronegativity value on the Pauling scale, pulling shared electrons more forcefully than any other element? Option A, oxygen. Option B, chlorine. Option C, nitrogen. Option D, fluorine. Time's up. The correct answer is D, fluorine. Question 22. The pH scale measures acidity. What is the pH of pure water at 25 degrees Celsius? Option A, 0. Option B, 7. Option C, 14. Option D, 1. Time's up. The correct answer is B, 7. Question 23. Which noble gas, despite being chemically inert, is the second most abundant element in the observable universe? Option A, neon. Option B, argon. Option C, helium. Option D, krypton. Time's up. The correct answer is C, helium. Question 24. Avogadro's number approximately 6.022 times 10 superscript 2 superscript 3 defines how many particles are in 1 watt? Option A, gram. Option B, mole. Option C, liter. Option D, kilogram. Time's up. The correct answer is B, mole. Question 25. The Haber-Bosch process, which feeds roughly half of humanity, synthesizes which crucial compound from nitrogen and hydrogen? Option A, nitric acid. Option B, urea. Option C, ammonia. Option D, potassium nitrate. Time's up. The correct answer is C, ammonia. Question 26. In organic chemistry, what term describes the phenomenon where two compounds share the same molecular formula but different structural arrangements? Option A, allotropy. Option B, isomerism. Option C, isotopy. Option D, polymorphism. Time's up. The correct answer is B, isomerism. Question 27. Which process in chemistry involves a substance gaining electrons, and is always paired with the opposite process? Option A, oxidation. Option B, combustion. Option C, reduction. Option D, sublimation. Time's up. The correct answer is C, reduction. Question 28. Graphene and diamond are both made purely of carbon but have radically different properties. What concept in chemistry describes this phenomenon? Option A, isotopy. Option B, allotropy. Option C, isomerism. Option D, chirality. Time's up. The correct answer is B, allotropy. Question 29. The central dogma of molecular biology describes the directional flow of genetic information. Which sequence is correct? Option A, protein rightward arrow RNA rightward arrow DNA. Option B, DNA rightward arrow RNA rightward arrow protein. Option C, RNA rightward arrow DNA rightward arrow protein. Option D, DNA rightward arrow protein rightward arrow RNA. Time's up. The correct answer is B, DNA rightward arrow RNA rightward arrow protein. Question 30. CRISPR-Cas9 is a revolutionary gene editing tool. What organism inspired its discovery where scientists found bacteria using it as a natural immune system? Option A, yeast. Option B, archaea. Option C, bacteria. Option D, viruses. Time's up. The correct answer is C, bacteria. Question 31. The human genome contains approximately how many base pairs of DNA? Option A, 3 billion. Option B, 30 million. Option C, 300 billion. Option D, 3 trillion. Time's up. The correct answer is A, 3 billion. Question 32. Which organelle, sometimes called the powerhouse of the cell, produces ADP through oxidative phosphorylation? Option A, ribosome. Option B, Golgi apparatus. Option C, endoplasmic reticulum. Option D, mitochondria. Time's up. The correct answer is D, mitochondria. Question 33. Darwin and Wallace independently developed the theory of natural selection. Which voyage gave Darwin the pivotal observations that led to his theory? Option A, Voyage of the Endeavour. Option B, Voyage of the Beagle. Option C, Voyage of the Discovery. Option D, Voyage of the Resolution. Time's up. The correct answer is B, Voyage of the Beagle. Question 34. What is the name of the process by which plants convert sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water into glucose and oxygen? Option A, chemosynthesis. Option B, respiration. Option C, photosynthesis. Option D, transpiration. Time's up. The correct answer is C, photosynthesis. Question 35. The Krebs cycle, occurring in the mitochondria, is a key part of which metabolic process that breaks down glucose to release energy? Option A, anabolism. Option B, fermentation. Option C, glycolysis. Option D, cellular respiration. Time's up. The correct answer is D, cellular respiration. Question 36. What percentage of human DNA is shared with chimpanzees, our closest living relatives? Option A, around 75%. Option B, around 85%. Option C, around 98.7%. Option D, around 60%. Time's up. The correct answer is C, around 98.7%. Question 37. Telomeres are protective caps on the ends of chromosomes. What happens to telomere length each time a cell divides? Option A, it increases. Option B, it stays the same. Option C, it shortens. Option D, it randomizes. Time's up. The correct answer is C, it shortens. Question 38. The lac operon in E. coli bacteria is a classic model of gene regulation. What molecule acts as the inducer that allows the operon to be transcribed? Option A, glucose. Option B, lactose. Option C, ADP. Option D, CAMP. Time's up. The correct answer is B, lactose. Question 39. Alan Turing's 1950 paper Computing Machinery and Intelligence proposed a test for machine intelligence. What did Turing originally call this test? Option A, the cognition game. Option B, the imitation game. Option C, the intelligence benchmark. Option D, the mind's problem. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the imitation game. Question 40. What does big O notation measure in computer science, such as O, n log n, for merge sort? Option A, memory usage only. Option B, algorithm accuracy. Option C, time and space complexity as input scales. Option D, network bandwidth. Time's up. The correct answer is C, time and space complexity as input scales. Question 41. In neural networks, what is the term for the mathematical function applied to each node's output to introduce nonlinearity, enabling the network to learn complex patterns? Option A, loss function. Option B, activation function. Option C, weight matrix. Option D, dropout layer. Time's up. The correct answer is B, activation function. Question 42. The RSA encryption algorithm, used in most Internet security, relies on the practical difficulty of what mathematical operation? Option A, solving differential equations. Option B, factoring large prime numbers. Option C, inverting hash functions. Option D, computing discrete logarithms. Time's up. The correct answer is B, factoring large prime numbers. Question 43. What does GPU stand for, and why have GPUs become essential for training modern AI models? Option A, General Processing Unit, they run most software. Option B, Graphics Processing Unit, massively parallel architecture suits matrix math. Option C, Global Processing Unit, they provide internet connectivity. Option D, Grouped Processing Unit, they share memory efficiently. Time's up. The correct answer is B, Graphics processing unit, massively parallel architecture suits matrix math. Question 44. The halting problem proved by Alan Turing demonstrates that there is no general algorithm to determine what about an arbitrary computer program. Option A, whether it uses too much memory. Option B, whether it produces correct output. Option C, whether it will eventually halt or run forever. Option D, whether it contains security vulnerabilities. Time's up. The correct answer is C, whether it will eventually halt or run forever. Question 45. What is a transformer in the context of modern AI language models like GPT, and what was the key mechanism introduced in the 2017 paper Attention is All You Need? Option A, a power conversion unit, voltage regulation. Option B, a neural network architecture, self-attention mechanism. Option C, a data compression algorithm, dictionary encoding. Option D, a hardware chip, tensor acceleration. Time's up. The correct answer is B, a neural network architecture, self-attention mechanism. Question 46. In blockchain technology, what consensus mechanism does Bitcoin use to validate transactions and add blocks to the chain? Option A, proof of stake. Option B, delegated proof of authority. Option C, proof of work. Option D, Byzantine fault tolerance. Time's up. The correct answer is C, proof of work. Question 47. In economics, what term describes the hidden cost of the next best alternative you give up whenever you make a choice, even if no money changes hands? Option A, sunk cost. Option B, marginal cost. Option C, deadweight loss. Option D, opportunity cost. Time's up. The correct answer is D, opportunity cost. Question 48. The Nash equilibrium describes a stable state where no player gains by unilaterally changing strategy. In which classic dilemma does it produce a suboptimal collective outcome? Option A, the ultimatum game. Option B, the prisoner's dilemma. Option C, the stag hunt. Option D, the dictator game. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the prisoner's dilemma. Question 49. Adam Smith's concept of the invisible hand in The Wealth of Nations describes how individual self-interest in markets leads to what? Option A, monopoly formation. Option B, government intervention. Option C, unintended social benefit. Option D, planned economic outcomes. Time's up. The correct answer is C, unintended social benefit. Question 50. What economic concept, associated with John Maynard Keynes, describes the idea that government spending can stimulate a struggling economy through multiplied effects on GDP? Option A, laissez-faire. Option B, monetarism. Option C, fiscal multiplier. Option D, supply-side economics. Time's up. The correct answer is C, fiscal multiplier. Question 51. The Laffer curve, famously drawn on a napkin in 1974, illustrates the relationship between tax rates and tax revenue. What is its controversial implication? Option A, higher taxes always raise more revenue. Option B, taxes should be zero for maximum growth. Option C, at very high rates, cutting taxes can increase revenue. Option D, tax revenue is always proportional to GDP. Time's up. The correct answer is C, at very high rates, cutting taxes can increase revenue. Question 52. What does GDP stand for, and what does it measure? Option A, gross domestic product, total economic output within a country. Option B, global debt percentage, a country's debt relative to world GDP. Option C, gross development progress, infrastructure growth rate. Option D, general distribution of products, trade balance. Time's up. The correct answer is A, gross domestic product, total economic output within a country. Question 53. In game theory, what strategy in repeated games starting cooperative and then copying the opponent's last move has proven remarkably effective in simulations? Option A, always defect. Option B, random strategy. Option C, tit for tat. Option D, always cooperate. Time's up. The correct answer is C, tit for tat. Question 54. Descartes' famous statement cogito, ergo sum means I think, therefore I am. What philosophical problem was he trying to solve with this formulation? Option A, the existence of God. Option B, the problem of radical doubt and finding certainty. Option C, the nature of free will. Option D, the definition of consciousness. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the problem of radical doubt and finding certainty. Question 55. What is a syllogism in logic? An example, all humans are mortal. Socrates is human. Therefore, Socrates is mortal. What type of reasoning is this? Option A, inductive reasoning. Option B, abductive reasoning. Option C, deductive reasoning. Option D, probabilistic reasoning. Time's up. The correct answer is C, deductive reasoning. Question 56. Plato's allegory of the cave describes prisoners who mistake shadows on a wall for reality. What does the allegory primarily represent? Option A, the nature of political power. Option B, the distinction between appearance and true philosophical knowledge. Option C, the dangers of democracy. Option D, the immortality of the soul. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the distinction between appearance and true philosophical knowledge. Question 57. Kant's categorical imperative states you should act only according to maxims you could will to be universal laws. Which modern ethical concept most closely mirrors this? Option A, consequentialism. Option B, virtue ethics. Option C, the golden rule. Option D, moral relativism. Time's up. The correct answer is C, the golden rule. Question 58. What is Occam's razor as a principle of reasoning? Option A, always assume the most complex explanation for phenomena. Option B, the simplest explanation with fewest assumptions should be preferred. Option C, cut away all evidence that contradicts your hypothesis. Option D, never use analogies in scientific reasoning. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the simplest explanation with fewest assumptions should be preferred. Question 59. The trolley problem is a famous philosophical thought experiment in ethics. What fundamental ethical conflict does it illustrate? Option A, distributive justice versus retributive justice. Option B, active harm versus passive harm in utilitarian calculus. Option C, divine command versus moral relativism. Option D, free will versus determinism. Time's up. The correct answer is B, active harm versus passive harm in utilitarian calculus. Question 60. Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch or Overman represents an ideal of human striving. Which famous novel by Dostoevsky is said to portray a character attempting to live by this philosophy? Option A, The Brothers Karamazov. Option B, The Idiot. Option C, Crime and Punishment. Option D, The Possessed. Time's up. The correct answer is C, Crime and Punishment. Question 61. The Peloponnesian War was fought between Athens and Sparta. Which Athenian historian wrote the definitive account, pioneering a rational, evidence-based approach to history? Option A, Herodotus. Option B, Plutarch. Option C, Thucydides. Option D, Xenophon. Time's up. The correct answer is C, Thucydides. Question 62. The Silk Road connected China to the Mediterranean. Which Mongol ruler's empire, the largest contiguous empire in history, made travel along it temporarily safer? Option A, Attila the Hun. Option B, Genghis Khan. Option C, Timur. Option D, Kublai Khan. Time's up. The correct answer is B, Genghis Khan. Question 63. The Black Death killed roughly one-third of Europe's population in the 14th century. What is now believed to be the primary causative agent? Option A, Yersinia pestis bacteria spread by rat fleas. Option B, a novel influenza strain. Option C, smallpox variant. Option D, typhoid fever outbreak. Time's up. The correct answer is A, Yersinia pestis bacteria spread by rat fleas. Question 64. The Treaty of Westphalia in 1648 is considered the foundation of modern international relations. What principle did it establish that still governs the world today? Option A, free trade between nations. Option B, state sovereignty over their own territories. Option C, universal human rights. Option D, the prohibition of religious wars. Time's up. The correct answer is B, state sovereignty over their own territories. Question 65. The Manhattan Project produced the first nuclear weapons. Which physicist, the project's scientific director, later said, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds"? Option A, Enrico Fermi. Option B, Niels Bohr. Option C, J. Robert Oppenheimer. Option D, Richard Feynman. Time's up. The correct answer is C, J. Robert Oppenheimer. Question 66. The French Revolution's slogan was Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité. Which Enlightenment philosopher's ideas about the social contract most directly influenced revolutionary ideology? Option A, Voltaire. Option B, John Locke. Option C, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Option D, Montesquieu. Time's up. The correct answer is C, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Question 67. The Rosetta Stone, discovered in 1799, was critical to deciphering Egyptian hieroglyphics. What made it so invaluable? Option A, it contained a complete Egyptian dictionary. Option B, the same text was written in hieroglyphics, Demotic, and Greek. Option C, it was written by Cleopatra herself. Option D, it listed all Egyptian pharaohs in order. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the same text was written in hieroglyphics, Demotic, and Greek. Question 68. During the Cold War, the Cuban Missile Crisis of October 1962 is considered the closest the world came to nuclear war. How was it ultimately resolved? Option A, U.S. military invasion of Cuba. Option B, NATO naval blockade and Soviet missiles removed in exchange for U.S. pledge not to invade Cuba. Option C, UN peacekeeping forces deployed to Cuba. Option D, Cuba voluntarily dismantled the missiles. Time's up. The correct answer is B, NATO naval blockade and Soviet missiles removed in exchange for U.S. pledge not to invade Cuba. Question 69. What does the acronym fMRI stand for, and what does the technique measure to infer brain activity? Option A, functional magnetic resonance imaging, blood oxygenation levels. Option B, fast molecular radio frequency imaging, neurotransmitter concentrations. Option C, frontal medial resonance index, electrical brain waves. Option D, functional membrane response imaging, ion channel activity. Time's up. The correct answer is A, functional magnetic resonance imaging, blood oxygenation levels. Question 70. Which neurotransmitter is most associated with the brain's reward and motivation circuits, and is heavily implicated in addiction? Option A, serotonin. Option B, GABA. Option C, dopamine. Option D, acetylcholine. Time's up. The correct answer is C, dopamine. Question 71. Stanley Milgram's famous 1961 obedience experiments at Yale showed that ordinary people would administer apparently lethal electric shocks when instructed by an authority figure. What percentage continued to the maximum voltage? Option A, about 25%. Option B, about 40%. Option C, about 65%. Option D, about 90%. Time's up. The correct answer is C, about 65%. Question 72. What is neuroplasticity, one of the most important discoveries in modern neuroscience? Option A, the brain's electrical conductivity. Option B, the brain's ability to reorganize and form new neural connections throughout life. Option C, the rigid structure of neural pathways after childhood. Option D, the plasticity of the skull to protect the brain. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the brain's ability to reorganize and form new neural connections throughout life. Question 73. Kahneman and Tversky's prospect theory showed people weigh losses more heavily than equivalent gains. What is this asymmetry called? Option A, risk aversion. Option B, loss aversion. Option C, confirmation bias. Option D, availability heuristic. Time's up. The correct answer is B, loss aversion. Question 74. The default mode network of the brain is active when we are doing what? Option A, solving complex mathematical problems. Option B, at rest, daydreaming, or thinking about others. Option C, processing visual information. Option D, performing fine motor tasks. Time's up. The correct answer is B, at rest, daydreaming, or thinking about others. Question 75. Philip Zimbardo's 1971 Stanford prison experiment was terminated early. What did it controversially demonstrate? Option A, prisoners are inherently more violent than guards. Option B, assigned social roles powerfully influence even normal people's behavior. Option C, prison conditions do not affect rehabilitation. Option D, authority figures always maintain ethical standards. Time's up. The correct answer is B. Assigned social roles powerfully influence even normal people's behavior. Question 76. The James Webb Space Telescope, launched in December 2021, operates primarily in which part of the electromagnetic spectrum to peer through cosmic dust? Option A, ultraviolet. Option B, X-ray. Option C, infrared. Option D, radio waves. Time's up. The correct answer is C, infrared. Question 77. What is the Fermi paradox, the apparent contradiction named after physicist Enrico Fermi? Option A, light from distant galaxies takes too long to reach us. Option B, given the vast number of stars, where are all the alien civilizations? Option C, energy cannot be created or destroyed in the universe. Option D, black holes emit radiation and should not be perfectly black. Time's up. The correct answer is B, given the vast number of stars, where are all the alien civilizations? Question 78. The Big Bang Theory describes the universe originating from an extremely hot, dense state approximately how many years ago? Option A, 4.5 billion years ago. Option B, 13.8 billion years ago. Option C, 100 billion years ago. Option D, 1 billion years ago. Time's up. The correct answer is B, 13.8 billion years ago. Question 79. What percentage of the universe is estimated to be composed of so-called dark energy, which is driving the accelerating expansion of the universe? Option A, about 5%. Option B, about 27%. Option C, about 48%. Option D, about 68%. Time's up. The correct answer is D, about 68%. Question 80. A neutron star is one of the densest objects in the universe. What is the approximate mass of a teaspoon of neutron star material? Option A, about 1 kilogram. Option B, about 1 ton. Option C, about 1 billion tons. Option D, about 1 million kilograms. Time's up. The correct answer is C, about 1 billion tons. Question 81. Voyager 1, launched in 1977, is the farthest human-made object from Earth. It entered interstellar space beyond the heliopause in approximately what year? Option A, 2000. Option B, 2012. Option C, 2020. Option D, 1990. Time's up. The correct answer is B, 2012. Question 82. The Drake equation attempts to estimate the number of technologically advanced civilizations in the Milky Way. Which factor in the equation remains most uncertain? Option A, the number of stars in the galaxy. Option B, the fraction of planets in a habitable zone. Option C, the fraction of civilizations that develop detectable technology and survive. Option D, the rate of star formation. Time's up. The correct answer is C, the fraction of civilizations that develop detectable technology and survive. Question 83. The 2008 global financial crisis was triggered largely by the collapse of the market for which type of complex financial instrument? Option A, government bonds. Option B, mortgage-backed securities. Option C, commodity futures. Option D, equity index options. Time's up. The correct answer is B, mortgage-backed securities. Question 84. What economic principle states that the real interest rate equals the nominal interest rate minus the expected inflation rate? Option A, the Taylor rule. Option B, the Phillips curve. Option C, the Fisher effect. Option D, the Mundell-Fleming model. Time's up. The correct answer is C, the Fisher effect. Question 85. Black-Scholes-Merton is a famous mathematical model for pricing what type of financial instrument? Option A, currency exchange rates. Option B, options and derivatives. Option C, government bond yields. Option D, commodity spot prices. Time's up. The correct answer is B, options and derivatives. Question 86. What is quantitative easing, the unconventional monetary policy tool deployed by central banks after the 2008 crisis? Option A, raising interest rates to fight inflation. Option B, cutting government spending to balance budgets. Option C, central bank purchasing assets to inject money into the economy. Option D, pegging currency to gold reserves. Time's up. The correct answer is C, central bank purchasing assets to inject money into the economy. Question 87. Noam Chomsky's theory of universal grammar suggests that the human capacity for language acquisition is what? Option A, entirely learned through cultural exposure. Option B, innately hardwired into the human brain. Option C, dependent on intelligence level. Option D, developed only after the invention of writing. Time's up. The correct answer is B, innately hardwired into the human brain. Question 88. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, also called linguistic relativity, makes what controversial claim about language? Option A, all languages share the same grammatical structure. Option B, language is entirely separate from thought. Option C, the language you speak shapes the way you perceive reality. Option D, children can only learn one language natively. Time's up. The correct answer is C, the language you speak shapes the way you perceive reality. Question 89. Sanskrit, Latin, Greek, English, Hindi, and Russian all descend from a common ancestor language. What is this reconstructed ancestor language called? Option A, Akkadian. Option B, Proto-Semitic. Option C, Proto-Indo-European. Option D, Old Avestan. Time's up. The correct answer is C, Proto-Indo-European. Question 90. What is the Great Vowel Shift, a major transformation in English linguistic history? Option A, the standardization of English spelling in the 15th century. Option B, a systematic change in long vowel pronunciation in English between roughly 1400 to 1700. Option C, the adoption of French vowels after the Norman conquest. Option D, the simplification of Old English vowel declensions. Time's up. The correct answer is B, a systematic change in long vowel pronunciation in English between roughly 1400 to 1700. Question 91. The discovery of penicillin by Alexander Fleming in 1928 is often cited as serendipitous. What did he observe that led to the discovery? Option A, a patient spontaneously recovering from a bacterial infection. Option B, mold contamination killing bacteria around it in a petri dish. Option C, a chemical reaction during routine lab cleaning. Option D, bacteria growing unusually slowly in cold storage. Time's up. The correct answer is B, mold contamination killing bacteria around it in a petri dish. Question 92. mRNA vaccines, like those developed for COVID-19, work by instructing cells to do what? Option A, destroy viral DNA directly. Option B, produce a fragment of the pathogen's protein to train the immune system. Option C, create antibodies directly in a lab before injection. Option D, suppress the immune system temporarily to prevent overreaction. Time's up. The correct answer is B, produce a fragment of the pathogen's protein to train the immune system. Question 93. The human brain comprises approximately how many neurons, making it one of the most complex structures in the known universe? Option A, 86 billion. Option B, 1 trillion. Option C, 1 billion. Option D, 10 million. Time's up. The correct answer is A, 86 billion. Question 94. What is the blood-brain barrier and why is it important? Option A, a membrane separating oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in the brain. Option B, a selective barrier protecting the brain from pathogens and toxins in the bloodstream. Option C, the rate at which the brain consumes oxygen. Option D, the pressure of cerebrospinal fluid around the brain. Time's up. The correct answer is B, a selective barrier protecting the brain from pathogens and toxins in the bloodstream. Question 95. CRISPR gene therapy has shown promise in treating sickle cell disease. What is the cause of this hereditary condition? Option A, a viral infection of red blood cells. Option B, a single point mutation in the gene encoding hemoglobin. Option C, an autoimmune attack on bone marrow. Option D, iron deficiency causing abnormal hemoglobin production. Time's up. The correct answer is B, a single point mutation in the gene encoding hemoglobin. Question 96. James Joyce's Ulysses, set entirely in one day in Dublin in 1904, is a modernist parallel to which ancient epic poem? Option A, the Iliad. Option B, the Aeneid. Option C, the Divine Comedy. Option D, the Odyssey. Time's up. The correct answer is D, the Odyssey. Question 97. Gabriel Garcia Marquez's style of magical realism blends extraordinary events with mundane reality. Which novel opens with the sentence "Many years later, as he faced the firing squad, Colonel Orleano Buendia was to remember"? Option A, Love in the Time of Cholera. Option B, 100 Years of Solitude. Option C, The Autumn of the Patriarch. Option D, Chronicle of a Death Foretold. Time's up. The correct answer is B, 100 Years of Solitude. Question 98. George Orwell wrote 1984 as a warning about totalitarianism. The fictional language Newspeak was designed to do what? Option A, improve communication between party members. Option B, eliminate the possibility of independent thought by limiting vocabulary. Option C, create a universal language for all nations. Option D, encode secret messages within ordinary speech. Time's up. The correct answer is B, eliminate the possibility of independent thought by limiting vocabulary. Question 99. Marcel Proust's 7-volume novel In Search of Lost Time famously uses what sensory experience in the first volume to trigger an involuntary flood of childhood memories? Option A, the smell of freshly cut grass. Option B, the sound of a church bell. Option C, tasting a Madeleine cake dipped in tea. Option D, the sight of a particular shade of blue. Time's up. The correct answer is C, tasting a Madeleine cake dipped in tea. Question 100. The Baroque period in music was roughly 1600 to 1750. Which composer, producing over 1,000 works including the Four Seasons, exemplifies the Italian Baroque style? Option A, Johann Sebastian Bach. Option B, George Friedrich Handel. Option C, Antonio Vivaldi. Option D, Claudio Monteverdi. Time's up. The correct answer is C, Antonio Vivaldi. Question 101. In art history, the chiaroscuro technique refers to what? Option A, the use of pure, unmixed colors to maximize vibrancy. Option B, the dramatic use of contrasting light and shadow to create depth. Option C, applying paint in thick, textured impasto strokes. Option D, drawing in perspective to create the illusion of depth. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the dramatic use of contrasting light and shadow to create depth. Question 102. Moore's law, observed in 1965 by Gordon Moore, stated that the number of transistors on a microchip doubles approximately every how many months, leading to exponential computing growth? Option A, 6 months. Option B, 12 months. Option C, 18 to 24 months. Option D, 36 months. Time's up. The correct answer is C, 18 to 24 months. Question 103. The Internet's foundational communication protocol is TCP/IP. What does TCP stand for? Option A, Transfer Control Protocol. Option B, Transmission Control Protocol. Option C, Tunneled Connection Protocol. Option D, Total Communication Pathway. Time's up. The correct answer is B, Transmission Control Protocol. Question 104. What principle in engineering does Murphy's Law describe? Option A, systems always reach maximum efficiency over time. Option B, if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. Option C, complexity always increases in engineered systems. Option D, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Time's up. The correct answer is B, if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. Question 105. The Shannon-Hartley theorem defines the maximum data rate of a communication channel. In information theory, what is entropy as defined by Claude Shannon? Option A, the heat generated by computer processors. Option B, the measure of uncertainty or information content in a message. Option C, the energy lost in signal transmission. Option D, the compression ratio of a data file. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the measure of uncertainty or information content in a message. Question 106. Max Weber identified 3 ideal types of authority in sociology. Which type is based on exceptional personal qualities attributed to a leader by their followers? Option A, traditional authority. Option B, legal rational authority. Option C, charismatic authority. Option D, bureaucratic authority. Time's up. The correct answer is C, charismatic authority. Question 107. What does Dunbar's number, proposed by anthropologist Robin Dunbar, suggest about human social cognition? Option A, humans can only truly love 5 people simultaneously. Option B, the cognitive limit for stable social relationships is approximately 150 people. Option C, humans evolved in groups of exactly 50. Option D, social media reduces our effective social network to 100 contacts. Time's up. The correct answer is B. The cognitive limit for stable social relationships is approximately 150 people. Question 108. The Gini coefficient is a statistical measure used in economics and social science to quantify what? Option A, economic growth rate. Option B, income or wealth inequality within a population. Option C, the effectiveness of foreign aid. Option D, trade balance between countries. Time's up. The correct answer is B, income or wealth inequality within a population. Question 109. Thomas Kuhn's The Structure of Scientific Revolutions introduced which now famous concept to describe a fundamental change in scientific worldview? Option A, peer review. Option B, falsifiability. Option C, paradigm shift. Option D, empirical induction. Time's up. The correct answer is C, paradigm shift. Question 110. If all bloops are Razzies, and all Razzies are Lazzies, then are all bloops definitely Lazzies? Option A, no, we need more information. Option B, yes, by transitive logic, all bloops must be Lazzies. Option C, only if not all Lazzies are Razzies. Option D, cannot be determined without knowing what bloops are. Time's up. The correct answer is B, yes, by transitive logic, all bloops must be Lazzies. Question 111. The birthday paradox asks, in a room of just 23 randomly chosen people, what is the approximate probability that at least 2 of them share a birthday? Option A, about 50%. Option B, about 6%. Option C, about 25%. Option D, about 10%. Time's up. The correct answer is A, about 50%. Question 112. A bat and a ball cost $1.10 in total. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Option A, 10 cents. Option B, 5 cents. Option C, 15 cents. Option D, $1. Time's up. The correct answer is B, 5 cents. Question 113. Russell's paradox describes the set of all sets that do not contain themselves. If this set contains itself, it doesn't, and if it doesn't, it does. What did this reveal? Option A, that set theory is useless. Option B, a fundamental inconsistency in naive set theory. Option C, that infinity is not a valid mathematical concept. Option D, that logic requires a higher spatial dimension. Time's up. The correct answer is B, a fundamental inconsistency in naive set theory. Question 114. In probability, 2 events are independent if knowing the outcome of one gives you no information about the other. Which of these is the correct formula for independent events? Option A, P, A and B, equals P, A, plus P, B. Option B, P, A and B, equals P, A, times P, B. Option C, P, A and B, equals P, A, slash P, B. Option D, P, A and B, equals P, A, P, B. Time's up. The correct answer is B, P, A and B, equals P, A, times P, B. Question 115. The Keeling curve, started by Charles David Keeling in 1958, continuously measures what in the atmosphere above Mauna Loa, Hawaii? Option A, ozone layer thickness. Option B, average global temperature. Option C, atmospheric CO2 concentration. Option D, solar irradiance levels. Time's up. The correct answer is C, atmospheric CO2 concentration. Question 116. What is the albedo effect in climate science? Option A, the warming caused by greenhouse gas absorption. Option B, the reflectivity of a surface higher albedo means more sunlight reflected back to space. Option C, the ocean's capacity to absorb atmospheric CO2. Option D, the thermal expansion of seawater as temperatures rise. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the reflectivity of a surface higher albedo means more sunlight reflected back to space. Question 117. The ozone layer, critical for blocking ultraviolet radiation, is primarily located in which layer of Earth's atmosphere? Option A, troposphere. Option B, stratosphere. Option C, mesosphere. Option D, thermosphere. Time's up. The correct answer is B, stratosphere. Question 118. The El Niño, Southern Oscillation, ENSO, refers to periodic warming of sea surface temperatures in which ocean? Option A, Atlantic Ocean. Option B, Indian Ocean. Option C, Arctic Ocean. Option D, Pacific Ocean. Time's up. The correct answer is D, Pacific Ocean. Question 119. What is Euler's identity, often called the most beautiful equation in mathematics? Option A, E caret, I pi, plus 1 equals 0. Option B, A superscript 2 plus B superscript 2 equals C superscript 2. Option C, E equals MC superscript 2. Option D, contour integral eta equals Q slash epsilon. Time's up. The correct answer is A, E caret, I pi, plus 1 equals 0. Question 120. What is a Turing machine? The theoretical device proposed by Alan Turing in 1936 that underpins all of modern computer science. Option A, an early physical computer built at Bletchley Park. Option B, an abstract machine that manipulates symbols on an infinite tape according to rules. Option C, a device for breaking the Enigma cipher. Option D, the first stored program computer. Time's up. The correct answer is B, an abstract machine that manipulates symbols on an infinite tape according to rules. Question 121. Bayes' theorem allows us to update the probability of a hypothesis given new evidence. It is foundational to which emerging field combining statistics with machine learning? Option A, frequentist statistics. Option B, Bayesian inference. Option C, descriptive statistics. Option D, null hypothesis testing. Time's up. The correct answer is B, Bayesian inference. Question 122. What does the mathematical constant E approximately 2.71828 represent in the context of continuous growth? Option A, the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. Option B, the base of natural logarithms and the rate of continuous compound growth. Option C, the golden ratio. Option D, the square root of -1. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the base of natural logarithms and the rate of continuous compound growth. Question 123. The four-color theorem, proven in 1976 as the first major proof using a computer, states that any map can be colored using at most 4 colors such that what? Option A, every region is a different color from all others. Option B, no two adjacent regions share the same color. Option C, the total number of color combinations is minimized. Option D, all connected regions form a single colored network. Time's up. The correct answer is B, no two adjacent regions share the same color. Question 124. What is quantum entanglement, which Einstein famously called spooky action at a distance? Option A, particles that are physically touching exchange quantum states. Option B, two particles become correlated so that measuring one instantly determines the state of the other, regardless of distance. Option C, particles vibrate at the same frequency when in the same room. Option D, electrons share orbits in atoms with identical quantum numbers. Time's up. The correct answer is B, two particles become correlated so that measuring one instantly determines the state of the other, regardless of distance. Question 125. The standard model of particle physics categorizes all fundamental particles. How many fundamental forces does it describe, and which one does it not include? Option A, 4 forces, it includes them all. Option B, 3 forces, it excludes gravity. Option C, 2 forces, it excludes nuclear forces. Option D, 3 forces, it excludes electromagnetism. Time's up. The correct answer is B, 3 forces, it excludes gravity. Question 126. What is dark matter, which makes up about 27% of the universe's energy content? Option A, matter that has collapsed into black holes. Option B, matter that does not emit, absorb, or reflect light but has gravitational effects. Option C, antimatter annihilating with matter in deep space. Option D, dense molecular clouds in galactic cores. Time's up. The correct answer is B, matter that does not emit, absorb, or reflect light but has gravitational effects. Question 127. The photoelectric effect, which Einstein explained in 1905, involves light hitting a metal surface and ejecting electrons. What critical property of light does this demonstrate? Option A, light travels in waves only. Option B, light intensity alone determines electron ejection energy. Option C, light comes in discrete packets of energy called photons. Option D, electrons orbit the nucleus in discrete energy levels. Time's up. The correct answer is C, light comes in discrete packets of energy called photons. Question 128. What is antimatter and what happens when it meets ordinary matter? Option A, matter moving faster than light, it reverses time. Option B, particles with opposite quantum numbers to normal matter, they annihilate in a burst of energy. Option C, negatively charged atoms, they repel ordinary atoms. Option D, the 27% of the universe that does not emit light. Time's up. The correct answer is B, particles with opposite quantum numbers to normal matter, they annihilate in a burst of energy. Question 129. The Strait of Malacca, one of the world's most strategically vital waterways, connects the Indian Ocean to which sea, making it critical for global oil and trade? Option A, the South China Sea. Option B, the Java Sea. Option C, the Coral Sea. Option D, the Philippine Sea. Time's up. The correct answer is A, the South China Sea. Question 130. Which country possesses the world's largest proven oil reserves, surpassing Saudi Arabia as of recent decades? Option A, Russia. Option B, Saudi Arabia. Option C, Venezuela. Option D, Iran. Time's up. The correct answer is C, Venezuela. Question 131. The Sahara Desert is the world's largest hot desert. Approximately how large is it in area comparable to which entire continent? Option A, about 1 million square kilometers comparable to Egypt. Option B, about 9.2 million square kilometers comparable to the United States. Option C, about 15 million square kilometers comparable to Russia. Option D, about 4 million square kilometers comparable to the European Union. Time's up. The correct answer is B, about 9.2 million square kilometers comparable to the United States. Question 132. Mount Everest is the highest point above sea level. However, the point on Earth's surface closest to the center of the Moon due to Earth's equatorial bulge is actually which mountain? Option A, K2. Option B, Chimborazo in Ecuador. Option C, Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. Option D, Mont Blanc in France. Time's up. The correct answer is B, Chimborazo in Ecuador. Question 133. The Cambrian explosion, approximately 541 million years ago, saw an extraordinary diversification of multicellular life. How long did this explosion actually take? Option A, about 1 week. Option B, about 1 million years. Option C, about 20 to 25 million years. Option D, about 100 million years. Time's up. The correct answer is C, about 20 to 25 million years. Question 134. The Great Oxygenation Event, roughly 2.4 billion years ago, was caused by which microorganism evolving the ability to perform oxygenic photosynthesis? Option A, archaea. Option B, eukaryotes. Option C, fungi. Option D, cyanobacteria. Time's up. The correct answer is D, cyanobacteria. Question 135. The last common ancestor of chimpanzees and humans, the LCA, is estimated to have lived approximately how many years ago? Option A, about 1 million years ago. Option B, about 6 to 7 million years ago. Option C, about 20 million years ago. Option D, about 50,000 years ago. Time's up. The correct answer is B, about 6 to 7 million years ago. Question 136. The Chicxulub impactor, an asteroid approximately 10 to 15 kilometers wide, struck Earth approximately 66 million years ago. What was the primary immediate kill mechanism for the non-avian dinosaurs? Option A, tidal waves flooding all land masses. Option B, decade-long impact winter blocking sunlight and collapsing food chains. Option C, toxic iridium dust poisoning plant life. Option D, instantaneous vaporization of the oceans. Time's up. The correct answer is B, decade-long impact winter blocking sunlight and collapsing food chains. Question 137. The Maillard reaction, responsible for the browning and flavor development when food is cooked, is a reaction between what two types of molecules? Option A, fats and water. Option B, amino acids and reducing sugars. Option C, proteins and fats. Option D, vitamins and minerals. Time's up. The correct answer is B, amino acids and reducing sugars. Question 138. What makes carbon so uniquely suited to form the basis of all known life, the foundation of organic chemistry? Option A, carbon is the most abundant element in the universe. Option B, carbon forms extremely strong bonds with oxygen only. Option C, carbon uniquely forms 4 stable covalent bonds, enabling enormous molecular diversity. Option D, carbon dissolves in water more readily than other elements. Time's up. The correct answer is C, carbon uniquely forms 4 stable covalent bonds, enabling enormous molecular diversity. Question 139. Chirality in chemistry refers to molecules that are mirror images of each other but cannot be superimposed like left and right hands. Why does this matter in pharmacology? Option A. Chiral molecules are always toxic. Option B. Different handedness of the same drug can have completely different biological effects. Option C. Only right-handed molecules can be synthesized in a lab. Option D. Chirality determines a drug's solubility in water. Time's up. The correct answer is B. Different handedness of the same drug can have completely different biological effects. Question 140. What is reinforcement learning in AI, and what famous game did DeepMind's AlphaGo use it to achieve superhuman performance in? Option A. Supervised learning using chess databases, chess. Option B. Learning through reward signals from trial and error, the board game Go. Option C. Memorizing all possible moves, poker. Option D. Unsupervised clustering of move patterns, checkers. Time's up. The correct answer is B. Learning through reward signals from trial and error, the board game Go. Question 141. The concept of emergent behavior in large language models refers to what surprising observation? Option A. Models spontaneously develop emotions as they get larger. Option B. Capabilities appear abruptly at certain model scales that were absent in smaller versions. Option C. Models develop unique writing styles that mirror their training data exactly. Option D. Larger models always use less energy per inference. Time's up. The correct answer is B. Capabilities appear abruptly at certain model scales that were absent in smaller versions. Question 142. What is overfitting in machine learning? One of the most fundamental challenges in training models. Option A. The model uses too many computational resources during inference. Option B. The model learns training data so well it fails to generalize to new unseen data. Option C. The model's predictions overestimate all numerical values. Option D. The training process takes too long to converge. Time's up. The correct answer is B. The model learns training data so well it fails to generalize to new unseen data. Question 143. Geoffrey Hinton, Jan L. Kuhn, and Yoshua Bengio won the 2018 Turing Award for their pioneering work on what computational approach? Option A. Symbolic AI and expert systems. Option B. Deep learning and artificial neural networks. Option C. Genetic algorithms and evolutionary computing. Option D. Quantum computing applications in AI. Time's up. The correct answer is B. Deep learning and artificial neural networks. Question 144. The Dunning-Kruger effect describes the cognitive bias where people with limited knowledge in a domain tend to do what? Option A. Overestimate the competence of others. Option B. Overestimate their own competence in that domain. Option C. Refuse to learn new information in that area. Option D. Consistently underperform on tests about that domain. Time's up. The correct answer is B, overestimate their own competence in that domain. Question 145. Confirmation bias. One of the most pervasive cognitive biases causes people to do what when processing information? Option A, always change their mind when presented with new evidence. Option B, prefer information that confirms their pre-existing beliefs. Option C, weigh all evidence equally regardless of source. Option D, avoid forming opinions on complex topics. Time's up. The correct answer is B, prefer information that confirms their pre-existing beliefs. Question 146. In psychology, the placebo effect demonstrates that even inert treatments can produce real physiological effects. What makes this particularly fascinating from a neuroscience perspective? Option A, it shows that the mind has no effect on physical health. Option B, it demonstrates the brain actively releases neurotransmitters and hormones in response to belief. Option C, it proves all drugs work primarily through psychological mechanisms. Option D, it shows that random chance explains most medical recoveries. Time's up. The correct answer is B, it demonstrates the brain actively releases neurotransmitters and hormones in response to belief. Question 147. Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a motivational theory. What are the two top levels of his pyramid, representing the highest human aspirations? Option A, safety and belonging. Option B, esteem and self-actualization. Option C, love and purpose. Option D, creativity and transcendence. Time's up. The correct answer is B, esteem and self-actualization. Question 148. David Chalmers coined the hard problem of consciousness. What precisely is this hard problem? Option A, measuring IQ accurately across different cultures. Option B, explaining why and how physical brain processes give rise to subjective experience. Option C, understanding how memory is stored and retrieved. Option D, proving that animals are conscious. Time's up. The correct answer is B, explaining why and how physical brain processes give rise to subjective experience. Question 149. Mary's room is a famous thought experiment in philosophy of mind. Mary is a scientist who knows everything physical about color but has only seen black and white. When she sees red for the first time, does she learn something new? Option A, no, she already knew all physical facts, so nothing new to learn. Option B, yes, she learns what it is like to experience red, revealing that qualia exist beyond physical description. Option C, the question is grammatically incoherent and cannot be answered. Option D, only if she has synesthesia. Time's up. The correct answer is B, yes, she learns what it is like to experience red, revealing that qualia exist beyond physical description. Question 150. John Searle's Chinese room thought experiment argues against strong AI. What is the core argument? Option A, computers are too slow to truly think. Option B, syntactic manipulation of symbols as computers do does not constitute genuine semantic understanding. Option C, AI will eventually surpass human intelligence. Option D, language is too complex for any machine to process. Time's up. The correct answer is B, syntactic manipulation of symbols as computers do does not constitute genuine semantic understanding. Question 151. What does P? Time's up. The correct answer is B, if the null hypothesis were true, there's less than a 5% probability of seeing results this extreme by chance. Question 152. Simpson's paradox describes a statistical phenomenon where a trend appears in separate groups of data, but what happens when those groups are combined? Option A, the trend becomes stronger when combined. Option B, the trend disappears or reverses in the combined dataset. Option C, the statistical significance increases. Option D, the data becomes impossible to analyze. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the trend disappears or reverses in the combined dataset. Question 153. What is regression to the mean? One of the most misunderstood statistical phenomena. Option A, data always converges on the median over time. Option B, extreme measurements are followed by less extreme ones purely due to random variation. Option C, statistical models always improve with more data. Option D, outliers in data sets always indicate measurement errors. Time's up. The correct answer is B, extreme measurements are followed by less extreme ones purely due to random variation. Question 154. The selfish gene concept, popularized by Richard Dawkins, reframes natural selection as operating primarily at what level? Option A, the individual organism. Option B, the species. Option C, the gene. Option D, the ecosystem. Time's up. The correct answer is C, the gene. Question 155. Epigenetics studies changes in gene expression that do not involve changes to the DNA sequence itself. Which of these is a key epigenetic mechanism? Option A, DNA base pair mutation. Option B, viral genome insertion. Option C, DNA methylation adding methyl groups to silence or activate genes. Option D, chromosomal translocation. Time's up. The correct answer is C, DNA methylation adding methyl groups to silence or activate genes. Question 156. The human gut microbiome contains roughly how many bacterial cells impacting immune function, mood, and metabolism? Option A, roughly the same number as human cells, approximately 38 trillion. Option B, about 100 times more than human cells. Option C, about 1 million. Option D, about the same as the number of neurons. Time's up. The correct answer is A, roughly the same number as human cells, approximately 38 trillion. Question 157. Horizontal gene transfer. The transfer of genetic material between organisms other than parent to offspring is most common in which domain of life? Option A, animals. Option B, plants. Option C, fungi. Option D, bacteria and archaea. Time's up. The correct answer is D, bacteria and archaea. Question 158. Isaac Newton famously described his own achievement by saying he stood on the shoulders of giants. Which aspect of Newton's work was most directly built upon Kepler's earlier laws of planetary motion? Option A, the invention of calculus. Option B, his law of universal gravitation. Option C, his three laws of motion. Option D, his work on optics and light. Time's up. The correct answer is B, his law of universal gravitation. Question 159. Marie Curie was the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes, in 2 different sciences. Which 2 prizes did she win? Option A, physics and chemistry. Option B, physics and medicine. Option C, chemistry and medicine. Option D, physics and mathematics. Time's up. The correct answer is A, physics and chemistry. Question 160. The Michelson-Morley experiment of 1887, attempting to detect the luminiferous ether that was believed to carry light waves, produced a null result. What did this ultimately lead to? Option A, the discovery of the electron. Option B, the foundation for Einstein's special relativity. Option C, the development of quantum mechanics. Option D, the proof that light is a particle. Time's up. The correct answer is B, the foundation for Einstein's special relativity. Question 161. Watson and Crick's 1953 discovery of the double helix structure of DNA relied critically on photo 51, an X-ray diffraction image produced by which scientist who received insufficient credit? Option A, Linus Pauling. Option B, Erwin Chargaff. Option C, Rosalind Franklin. Option D, Maurice Wilkins. Time's up. The correct answer is C, Rosalind Franklin. Question 162. The concept of mutually assured destruction, MAD, during the Cold War refers to what strategic doctrine? Option A, any nuclear strike guarantees equivalent conventional retaliation. Option B, both superpowers possessing enough nuclear weapons that a first strike would guarantee their own annihilation. Option C, the mutual agreement to destroy all nuclear weapons. Option D, economic sanctions that assure the destruction of the sanctioned economy. Time's up. The correct answer is B, both superpowers possessing enough nuclear weapons that a first strike would guarantee their own annihilation. Question 163. The United Nations Security Council has 5 permanent members with veto power. Which of these is not one of the P5? Option A, France. Option B, Germany. Option C, Russia. Option D, China. Time's up. The correct answer is B, Germany.